What do you want to be when you grow up? It's a question that all 6-year-olds get asked, and it's something that you ask yourself for most of your life. When you come to a certain point of your teenage years and you think about where you want to go and study and what you want to do, that question becomes very real. And thinking about where you want to spend those years of your life after school become very, very practical and very, very necessary to answer, because what you study sets you up for your first job, where you're going to go, the person you're going to become, people you're going to meet and make friends with, and so on and so on. Studying and what I want to be when I grow up is deeply personal. When we did a survey of students recently, we asked them a few questions about what they wanted, what they felt like, how they wanted to experience universities, and a bunch of other questions. There were a few key points. The first thing is that studying to them is incredibly personal. It's about legacy. It's about who they want to be, what they want to be. It's about their family. It's about making people proud. And so where they study and what they choose to study is deeply personal to them. The other thing is that they're coming for the content. They're coming to your institution because they believe that you're going to help them get that foot up and that foot in the door, and that's going to be the start of the life that they want. So when a student comes to you and they make the decision that they want to apply to study at your institution, they are going through some of the most important questions of their life. What do I want to study? Why do I want to study that? Should I be studying here and not going out and doing short courses, or going online and doing some quick 2-week courses, 6-week courses, 12-week courses, versus investing years of my life in an institute where I'm very much forming my career in the next steps. So applying to study at your institution is not just about a piece of paper that you give them, asking them some questions. For them, it's deeply personal. For them, it's about foundation. For them, it's about so much more than you could ever imagine. My name's Sean. Today, what we're going to do is talk about this application to enrollment process and why technology makes such a big difference and it is so important to helping students to answer these questions and helping you to serve them in their needs. So let's start with the application. An application form is probably the very first step, and it's unfortunately the place where many institutions stop. Hey, let's put an application form on our website. That means we're digital, right? No, it doesn't. Because applying is not just about filling out the form and making sure that I give you where I studied or went to school, what my grades were, what I'm wanting to study, and whether the maths makes sense, that I can actually do that course, that certificate, that degree, diploma, whatever the case may be. So we as technologists, we want to help you think about that application process and say that filling out the form is the very first thing that we need to worry about. We have to think about things like cultural diversity. We have to think about things like accessibility. What about people with disabilities? How do they experience it? How do they tick the right tick boxes and tell you that they have special needs through the process? What about international students? How do you service them? We need to think about all of these things. Are they going to need student housing? Are they going to need financial aid? What kind of courses do they want to apply? Do they have different choices? Maybe they can't get their first choice and they need a second or a third choice. So there's lots of things and mechanics behind the application form itself, but that's really the first question. The second question is, once the application form has come in and you get this sea of applications, how do you now deal with that as an institution? How do you hand that through to the academics for review? How do they process these things in bulk? How do you support the student through the process? They're going to have questions. Why should I study this over this? Do I need counseling to help me to choose what to study in the first place? And that deeply personal experience to them becomes something that you need to be aware of, because the whole application process is about whether they are making the right decision to come and study at your institution. So with technology, what we can do is we can empower you to do that. We can build automated rules engines that take course prerequisites and match them to what people are typing in the application form to spit out simply, quickly and digitally those that should be studying with you, those that need a little bit more input, a little bit more counseling, a little bit more effort, and those that unfortunately don't cut it. We can help you to deal with that sea of applications that come through and make sure that it goes through the right channels and that you're dealing with that in the most efficient and digital way possible. And most importantly, that you're communicating with that student as you go along. And as things are required, as you need more documentation, as you need more proof, or whatever the case may be, each course or program might have its own prerequisites. And so making sure that you inform the student and help them to give you the best version of that as they come through helps ultimately to figure out what all universities and institutions want. Who are the right people to come and study the right programs and qualifications at my institution so we have the best results possible? And so when we look through the full application process, we have to think through all of these things. We have to make sure that we're asking the right questions and we're getting the right information so that we can digitally channel, guide, assist, and support the student and the institution through this process. That we're not forgetting about the student, and we're not forgetting about faculty, we're not forgetting about academics. Through this process, we're bringing everybody's needs into one place and we're solving them both. And as we're doing this, we're supporting that student on this very, very, very personal journey. And that's helping them to make the decision whether they should come to your institution or another one. And of course, we know at the moment it's a highly competitive space. People are thinking about where to study, they're thinking about going overseas, they're thinking about why. And so you're not only competing with the other guys around you, you're competing with an international audience. You're competing with the school that the student came from. And if they went to a school where there was a lot of digitization and they were used to conducting classes online and doing things behind a laptop, and you now come as an institution with paper and with manual processes, those students are like, gee, I don't want to go backwards, I want to go forward, I want to take a step into this new era, this new world that we live in. So there's so many factors at play behind this whole process. And most importantly, I think it's about support for your institution. Supporting you to deal with this mass, with the volume, and making sure that you're making the right decisions and putting the right people in the right place so that they can study those things and set themselves up for their careers. With technology, there's so much possible. We've got some resources for you to download where we look at a maturity model and we say, where are you in the spectrum of digitization? That you say, are we at the beginning of our journey or are we quite advanced? And what are the things that we should be thinking of? What are the technologies that are available that can help me move forward in this maturity spectrum to get to where we want to be at the end? And ultimately, it's about that experience and providing both the student and the institution with an amazing experience that brings these people together in the start of this journey.